Palmistry reading of a male. We are reading his hand. I do not know the exact age, but I would be reading and giving you whatever I find important on this particular palm right now. We do have both the right as well as the left hand available. This is the right and this is the left hand. In most cases, the left and the right hand are similar. In this case, there appears to be a little bit different kind of lines that you find in the left hand compared to the right hand. Right hand is a normal kind of hand. Do not assume that when we say normal, it is a normal like a just a anybody's hand. Don't think in that particular way. Normal means a predictable kind of a hand. In the left hand, what we find different is that this is the lifeline which everybody has. And this is the headline that everybody is going to be having. This is the headline and this is the hardline, which is normal. But we don't know what this line is. Should we consider this to be an overlapping line of the lifeline? Or should we consider this particular line that we have drawn in white? This is the line that we are referring to. Should we consider this as the money line? And this is also the money line. So this is the only difference that we find out here. So let us first look at the right hand and then we would move to the left hand. It is normally said that right hand is the more important hand in a male compared to the left, but because we work with both the hands, my case I would say that we should consider both the hands to arrive at the conclusion. Now when we are looking at this particular hand, let us first take the line of money, because money line everybody wants to know about. That is the reason why we are straight away heading towards the money line. Any line moving towards the Saturn Mount is known as the money line. So this is the line of money, this is the line for possessions. Saturn is the mount for money, possessions, wealth, wisdom and responsibility. So when there's continuity in the line, we can say there would be stability in one's finances. But this does not mean that there wouldn't be some good parts in your life and some bad parts in your life. We would analyze out here. So the line is starting at a very, very early age. So this is where it starts. And as it touches the line of head, this particular point, this is age 35. The intersection of the head and the money line, this point is age 35. Beyond it is after the age of 35. You would notice that there are two lines running parallel to each other between the age of 35 till the age of 53. So that point is basically 53. This is the heart line. So the intersection of the heart and the money line is age 53. This portion is age 53. Now we look beyond that. So this line basically continues and the other line basically vanishes away. This point, it is vanishing away and it is reaching the mount of Saturn. And the mount of Saturn should have least amount of lines over it, and specifically there shouldn't be any horizontal or too many crisscrossing lines over it. Then it would destroy the qualities of Saturn and it would give you negative result. But in this case we don't find that kind of an indication. That is the reason why we would say that Saturn would be playing out in a positive way in your life. Saturn is all about a depression. Saturn is all about possessions, wisdom, responsibility, unwise decisions. So those are they are good as well as negative aspects of any particular planet. Same case regarding the Saturn, and because there are no negative lines over the mount of Saturn, so we would say that the possibility of delays and those negative things are likely to be less in this particular person's hand. Now first we would take a look at the age before the age of 35. This portion is before the age of 35. So the marking of the money line, it is starting on the mount of moon. When the money line starts on the mount of moon, we would say that the person would gain from trading activities, service industry. More benefits coming to this particular person from females. Now females could be anybody. It could be mother, sister, wife, daughter. and it could be female friends also. And in foreigners, we would say male as well as females are likely to benefit such a person. So the line is starting at a very early age. Now, the thing is, many people, they have a line that starts out here, but they start to earn at a later age. That is also possible. But when we find that the line is starting at a very early age, we would say that the possibility to earn is always there in this particular person's life. So the first significant line that we find on the line of money is this particular line that we see out here, and the second is this particular line. So consider the main line of money as the line of, it is considered this to be a river. Okay, now another line joining into the main line is a tributary that is entering the main river, so more flow happens out here. Then again another tributary joining in, more flow again happens out here. So this particular point is age 35. So this particular point where the money line is joining into, the first line joins at an early age, around the age of, let's say, 26 or so. The second line joins around approximately around the age of, if this is 35, so we would say around the age of 29, 30. That's the approximate age. So few lines are joining into out here. These lines are joining into the main line of money, or we can say main line of fate, and another line is moving outward out here. So this means outflow of money. So a tributary is moving out, so we would say outflow of money, and specifically when it is pointing towards the area of Mount of Mars negative. Mars negative is just a name, and if the money line branches out and moves towards the, and it doesn't has to reach out here, but even if it points towards the Mount of Mars negative, we would say that that money is likely to get burned during that particular portion of life. So I have mentioned the first point as age 26, the other point as the age of 29, 30. So this would be somewhere in the middle. So this line could be seen as a money loss in some way or the other that might have taken place in this particular person's life, assuming the person has already crossed the age, let's say 30. So it's going to be before the age of 30. So losses can be of any kind. The money would outflow in some way or the other. At the age of 35, this is the point that we are talking right now. A line from the area of Mars negative is kind of coming and crossing over the line of money and the line of head. So this intersection out here becomes an important portion of life. So whenever a horizontal line is cutting out here, it is likely to bring problems. Imagine a situation, Lifeline is nothing but you are traveling in a car. These lines that are horizontal, these are cycle, truck, bus, ship, plane coming and striking your car. And as they move forward, whichever line they cross over, the problem that the person may experience is going to be experiencing those particular aspects of the life where the line from the area of Mars negative kind of cut those particular lines. So the lines that are being cut is money line as well as the line of head. So some mental problems as well as some financial problems come around the age of 35. But one more thing is that we have to look how good the line becomes after the age of 35. So suddenly what is happening is around the age of 35, two lines develop. Now two lines developing at the age of 35 basically means two parallel sources of income develop after the age of 35. One could be the original one and the second could be another one. Now it is something like correlating it to a house. Let's say there's already a house, you have made a house and you create another pillar like the beam and a pillar in the same house. So the strength of that house is going to increase. Same goes with a double line of money. It would kind of strengthen one's finances when a person does have two lines of money, or we can say two fate lines. So it should not be seen as double income. It should only be seen as parallel sources of income. Some people might also say that, oh, I don't have another income. I would just say that it basically helps strengthen your finances, and if some problem arises, so these people are able to face those problems and move ahead in their life. Beyond the age of 53, there's a simple straightforward line. There's a break also out here, so but these breaks and all, you don't have to worry too much about here, even if there are breaks out here. So all these things are after the age of 53, and this break is happening around the age of, let's say, 60 or so. But even if you have these small breaks, it doesn't matter too much. Towards the end, there's a V-like portion. Towards the end, there's a V-like portion, and V-like portion pointing towards the Saturn Mount and a little bit towards the Jupiter Mount is beneficial. What it basically would depict is that finances become better around this particular age. This age is going to be around the age of, let's say, 60, 62, 65. That's the rough estimate. This is just a rough estimate, I would say. And the main line of money pointing towards the Saturn Mount means that the person would be able to accumulate money. Saturn is all about wisdom, accumulation of money. All these things are basically depicted by Saturn. Now let us look at the other lines that are important for finances. Now, if we look at the line of Sun out here, so this Sun line is appearing something like this formation. Wave-like formation is generally not considered to be the best, but because the quality of the Sun line is good, that is the reason why we would say that it is still going to give you very good result. Normally people do not have a long line of Sun. Normally they just might have a small line, something like this, or something like a little bit a longer kind of a line, but never, very rarely you would find a long line. The length of line does not basically determine more success. You have to correlate with that, but certainly it is going to be considered to be a good sign provided it is deep and clear. So this line is fairly deep and clear. So when the line is fairly deep and clear, now other palmists basically they mention this particular line as the luck line. Some people refer this particular line as the name and fame line. I don't disagree with those particular people who say, and I in fact agree with them as well, but I have tried to define the Sun line in a little bit different kind of a way. I would say Sun, what is Sun? Sun is all brightness. So when the sun is shining, you can see your path very clearly. So if the Sun line is deep and clear, we say the person is able to see his path very clearly as to which path the person wants to travel on, the career, the prospects, which career the person wants to pursue on. If, imagine a situation, the line was very thin, very barely visible kind of a line, something like this, very weak and broken kind of line, then we would have said lack of clarity. But in this case, because the quality of the Sun line is good, that is the reason why we would say that the person would have clarity, and because the person has clarity, the reason is going to be that would be the reason for success. Now let's take a look at the age on the line of Sun. So this is the Sun line, this is the headline, and this is the heart line. Intersection age 35, intersection out here age 53. This portion is before the age of 35 to the age of 53, and this is 53 and beyond. So the line of Sun is starting somewhere close to the age of I mentioned the age out here on the money line, 26, 29. This could be somewhere in the middle, this portion. So we are not talking about this, so we are talking about the Sun line out here. So if this point is roughly age 29, so this particular point is going to be 30. So beyond the age of 30, you would notice that there's a V-like portion pointing towards the Sun finger and the Saturn finger. Normally it is said, like no book says, but I have tried to define it, why it is considered to be good. Something like this. Now we can point either out here, or we can point something like this. Now when we say V, people generally think V means victory. No, it doesn't mean victory, but V is considered to be a good sign in palmistry. The reason I have given is energy penetrate the fingers and different energies. This is the finger of creativity, art, music, risk taking. This is the finger of money, possessions, wealth, wisdom, responsibility. This is the finger of administration, religion, politics, honor. This is the finger of skill, calculations, communication. So these energies, they kind of enter your palm. So they enter your life. When they enter your palm, these energy, light or current, whatever you may say. And wherever there's a V, these energies go and get accumulated out here. So this point becomes a significant point in your life. And this would be a time when things are going to be good. So around the age of 30, because there's a V-like portion, we would say certainly good aspects are going to play out around that particular age. Now, when we look at the sun line, now the thing is that each sun line, they should kind of point towards the exact mount. So this portion of the sun line is kind of pointing towards the mount of sun. So this portion is almost pointing towards the mount of sun. But what is happening is then there's a wave-like formation. Now this wave-like formation is happening is because the direction is going a little bit towards the Saturn, and Saturn is all about money. So more money could be expected around that particular age, beyond the age of 53 and 2 or 3, 4 years. And then again there's a V-like portion. So this V-like portion, I won't repeat it once more, but it is considered to be a good sign towards the end as well. And towards the end also there's a V, something like this. So all these things are basically reasonably good. Apart from having the importance of the line of sun and money, a person should have a good Mercury as well, because without a good Mercury, a person cannot be successful. Because Mercury is all about skill, calculations, communication, statistics, economics, biology, chemistry. It is always better to have a deep and clear lines on the mount of Mercury, only then the results are going to be much better. So we find there's a line out here also, there's another line out here. All these are good lines, and these lines that have pointed on the mount itself. So all of these are Mercury lines. So the more the depth and the more the clarity, the better it is going to be. It basically means how good we are at our skill. The deeper lines means you have tried to sharpen your skills. The weaker lines means you need to sharpen those skills even further. Multiple line means multiple set of skills. So these lines are okay. Many other people could have even better lines, but the thing is that not every person would have every line in their palm. Don't think that you need to have every line, only then you're going to be successful. Just 1 or 2 lines are good enough for your success. You don't need to have too many lines. Books of palmistry have defined these particular lines, have many perpendicular lines, as multiple set of skills, or we can say the person is a good healer, or a person is good doctor as well. But I normally say that multiple lines do not always means that the person is a doctor. This area is the area for mathematics, engineering, business, statistics, economics, computer, everything, every skill you can think of. The good part is that these lines are not crisscrossing each other. If they were crisscrossing, we would have said miscommunication and miscalculations would develop. So that's not what we find on the area of Mount of Mercury. Now this portion of the heartline, it is something like branches, something like these. So we would say that the love for children is going to be there, and the person would be able to attract children towards them, or the children are going to get attracted to this particular person very easily. So love for children is there. I'm not very certain that if there is a break like thing out here or not. This break, it doesn't appear to be a break, but I thought it may be a break. So the line of heart appears to be reasonably simple. It does have few branches over it, minor branches. So minor branches we can basically ignore. Minor, see, branches hanging towards the headline is a little bit negative. We say getting distracted, falling for temptations, not being able to focus completely, not being able to dedicate themselves completely. But because these branches are very limited, to a very limited extent, and the clarity of the main line is there, so that is the reason why we would say that the focus is going to be intact, and that is the reason for one's success. Minor distractions is all okay, but if these were branches were too strong, very strong branches, then we would have said very negative. Some people have got totally broken up kind of a line, heart line. That is basically very negative from the perspective of relationships and from the perspective of your work as well. The length of the heart line becomes a little bit long, little bit, not very long, but a little bit long. So it makes a person more idealistic, more sensitive, and it also means where there is an opportunity to make money, the person may lose the opportunity to make money because of high ideals. So the person needs to be more realistic, the person needs to be more grounded. The heart line ending on the Mount of Saturn, something like this or something like this, is considered to be much better sign for money. Longer heart line means those people may not respect money completely and they may not value money completely. Now you may disagree with what I am saying right now, but it is there in a slight way, not in a major way, but in a very minor way. It is there. So it's going to play out in a very minor way, not in a major way. Now, one important line is the first finger on the first finger. This line is not there in every person's hand. And if it was much more deeper and clearer, we would have said those qualities would be there in a much more significant way. But because it's still there, I would still describe it. It means starting on the Mount of Jupiter means getting the qualities of Jupiter in your life. If it joins your lifeline, if it joins your mind line, it means qualities of Jupiter entering your mind. It means you're seeking those qualities in your life. Jupiter is all about power, position, respect, honor in your life. So a line joins from the area of Jupiter means the person would be aspiring to be at a higher position in one's life, seeking honor, valuing honor. And these lines are joined at the initial start of your lifeline. So if some good line is there in the initial portion of your life, that means you have worked something good in the initial part of your life. So it is catapulting you to a higher level in your life as you're growing older. So in that way, it is considered to be a good line. So such a person reaches honor at an early age, as well as throughout their life, they would be getting honor in some way or the other. The portion of the headline out here is a little bit negative. This is the early portion. This point is age 35. So this portion of the headline is before the age of 35. There are few backward kind of lines, something like this. So in a minor way, these are a little bit negative. Out here also, the headline is a little bit disturbed at the age of 35. Although they are good as well as negative aspects playing out at the same time, because it is appearing that the headline is changing its course a little bit. You notice something like this. Beyond the age of 35, there is simple continuity. So that is considered to be much better compared to discontinuity in the headline. So a headline that is simple towards the end also means that things are going to be predictable in the last portion of your life, and they are going to remain good in your life. So this is what I can say with certainty. I just briefly look at the left hand, and there are lots of similarities in your left as well as the right hand. The only difference is both the head and the lifeline are joined together at the initial start. It makes a person very cautious, shy, hardworking, and contemplating. They may lose opportunities because of extra caution. In comparison, both these life and the head are joined at a little bit less compared to the left hand. So maybe left is more of the past, right is more of the present, left is passive hand, right is active hand. So more of right basically comes into play in a person's life. Now these Jupiter lines are they also there in your left hand also. I won't repeat the meaning again and again. So it's there. The sun line is also good. It is ending at the age of 44. Then another one starts and that continues to the 65, 70, and another one basically starts at the age of 60s, and again there's a V-like portion. So these are good lines. The money line out here is ending at the age of 53. Another line basically is developing something like this. So these are different things that are going to play out in your life, but all of them are positive. There could be a break out here, but break should not be seen as a negative sign. Now in the left hand, the heart line is more to ending towards on the mount of Saturn. So Saturn is all about materialism. Saturn is all about valuing money, respecting money, and being a very good money manager. Long heart line basically means on Jupiter, they may not value money, they may lose the money because they are not valuing it. And where the opportunity to make money arises, they may lose that particular opportunity to make money. So in that way, it's a little bit, it's always better to have a shorter heart line if you want more money in your life. Now we were talking, lastly, we would just talk about this particular line. Now this particular line could be the money line, starts and it ends at the age of 35. Another one starts at this particular point, and this point is going to be roughly 28 or so, and it continues something like say. So this portion becomes significant because there's a V-like portion. And another line, the Mercury lines are also good, reasonably good. If there were deeper Mercury lines on the mount, we would have said it to be much better. Probably this is the later portion of life and this is the earlier portion of life. So in the earlier portion, if it's good, everything is good basically, because the earlier portion of our life is the more productive. So if there are good lines in the earlier portion, the outcome is also going to be positive. Now these were the main things that I found on your hand. I would end the video out here. Hopefully you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Bye and take care.